Just a perfect blend ship. No, not me and Christy, although we are. I'm talking about Tim Robinson and Paul Rudd in the A24 comedy Friendship.
Hopefully you and I are not as cringe as the friendship here.
Fingers crossed, but you never know.
I want to hang out in your garage and smoke cigarettes with you, Alonso. It's been the dream. You never invite me. It's been the dream.
Your drum kit is really boss.
Right, exactly. I don't smoke and you don't have a garage.
No.
So there you go. So this is a movie that has been in limited release for a couple of weeks now. It's going nationwide on Friday, May 23rd. So we are catching up with it now. Come hang out with us. If there's an A24 movie, we're probably going to review it. So come subscribe if that's your jam. It is ours.
I can see the future. It's full of pals. I'm on the edge of life, and the view is gorgeous.
Okay, so this is supremely uncomfortable cringe comedy. Just putting that out there now. If you cannot withstand that, oh my goodness, you're going to be so uncomfortable watching this movie. This is the feature filmmaking debut from writer-director Andrew DeYoung. He's done a lot of television, but really it's like the ethos of Tim Robinson here. It's his kind of shtick. He is Craig. He is a husband and a dad to a teenage son. And like, he's really abrasive. There's also kind of something sad and needy about him. And like, clearly he wants to fit in and does not know how, and is always a little too eager, just always says the wrong thing. And it's very, very uncomfortable, but it's funny for us. So that's one thing just to know if this is uncomfortable for you, if you're squirming just hearing about this. Paul Rudd moves in up the street. He is a weatherman, small town weatherman with a terrible hair and a worse mustache. But Craig thinks he's super cool because he smokes and he plays a guitar in a band and he's a weatherman. And it's how this friendship develops between these two. And they wouldn't seem to be the kind of guys who would be friends with each other. But they really hit it off, and they spend all this time together, like a lot of time very, very quickly. And then there's a bit of a falling out, and it's how Craig tries to navigate the sense of loss that he has when the coolest guy he's ever known is kind of, giving him the brush off. So I laughed a lot, and I was impressed kind of with the tone here, because it's a very delicate thing with this guy. If you can't stand this guy, this Tim Robinson character, Craig, you're going to be out from the get-go. But I appreciated kind of the delicacy of the vulnerability, and also just like the gonzo weirdness of the physicality and how it veers back and forth, kind of rides that line in between them. People do some things here that don't seem like normal human being behavior quite frequently. And so maybe that's going to be off-putting for you and it's going to take you out. But I sort of felt like this was a heightened sense of banal suburban reality. And so I kind of went with wherever it took me. That means literally and figuratively to dark places.
Right.
So I laughed a lot.
I'm not the target audience for this movie. I have sat in rooms where people have binged I Think You Should Leave and just roaring with laughter at Tim Robinson stuff. And it's not like I think he's terrible or I don't question his motives. I just don't think it's funny. I mean, it's just it's super subjective that way. In the same way that I don't think Tim and Eric are particularly funny,
I like Tim and Eric. Yeah.
See, it's a brand of humor that lands with you or it doesn't. And this is not my jam. Mm-hmm. And I also wasn't quite sure how the movie could balance the fact that you have Tim Robinson doing the Tim Robinson kind of uncomfortable shtick, but then he's married to Kate Mara, who is playing this as like totally straight, totally dramatic, and which is fine, and it's a choice in a comedy to like be the straight man, but at the same time, it's like we have to believe that this woman who is a cancer survivor and like all of these other things, has these sort of serious things in her life, has been willingly married to this yo-yo for like, long enough to produce a teenage child. So I never quite bought into them existing in the same universe. But I think that, definitely people who like this sort of thing will like this sort of thing. Like the audience that I saw it with was with it from start to finish. I will say, as a translation of somebody's cable TV comedy from the small screen to the big screen, it is a lot more successful than many of its 90s antecedents. Like I was thinking about the Strangers with Candy movie and the Kids in the Hall movie and the Mr. Show movie. Like, you know, where you took these shows that I really loved and then on the big screen just didn't quite gel. This one, I can't say for sure because I'm not a fan of I Think You Should Leave, but I think if you are, the stuff that you like in that you're going to get in this too.
Yeah, so much of sketch comedy, when they do, you know, stretch it out to feature film length, it feels stretched out and you feel how thin it is. Like there's no connective tissue. But this kept me hanging on. Like there's so many incredibly tense scenes here where, you know, nothing really big and dramatic is happening. It's just people behaving uncomfortably and how far can they push that. And so, and then, I mean, there are actual stakes. Eventually very serious things happen and there are actual stakes. But they also play that for comedy as well. Yeah. I liked the costume design here. I like the production design, like the putty colored puffer coat that Craig wears all the time. I think they're not making fun of suburbia. They're not making fun of this kind of small town life in a mean way, but kind of in an affectionate way. Like the fact that Paul Rudd's character takes himself very, very seriously as a weatherman and really wants to be put on mornings because that's where the action is.
The fact that Tim Robinson's character gets all of his clothing from the fashion line of restaurants.
Yeah, there's some weird things here. And then Jack Dylan Grazer is their son, who is kind of underdeveloped as a figure. And even like the whole cancer thing, which kicks off the movie, like they begin in this cancer group therapy thing. It's a vehicle to introduce what a narcissist this guy is and how he will even make his wife's cancer about himself. But even that doesn't necessarily feel like it's a substantial part of it. So it's like an idea. Like there's many, many ideas here and they don't always stick.
Yeah. And again, like I feel like because she's, like I said, she's playing it so straight that but then why are you smart enough to know this guy's a total weirdo? And I don't know. Maybe he wasn't always like that though. Maybe he was normal and like middle age has taken its toll on him and now he's a dweeb. Yeah, no, I don't believe that.
You think you are that way? You don't recover?
This guy, I think, that is soaked into the bone, you know. But yeah, so you know, not my jam. But if you are a Tim Robinson fan, from what I can glean from other people and the people I saw it with, and the reviews in general, then yeah, you should see this.
Keegan DeWitt did the music, by the way.
Oh, cool.
There you go. So I will say like a 7.5 because I laughed quite a bit. It's pretty inconsistent, but I did laugh quite a bit throughout.
I'm up 5.5 in that I acknowledge that this is being done well for the audience that wants to see it, and I'm just not in that audience.
I kind of did like Paul Rudd being a bit of a jerk, though. You know? Yes,
he usually it has to be the affable guy, and here you get to see the sort of the dark undercurrent of that. And, you know, I think one could make a larger case about the ongoing discussion of, you know, men's friendships and men's intimacy and I think the movie kind of dabbles at that, but I don't think anybody's going to point to this and say like, oh yes, it's really cutting in deep on that subject. It's using it as a background for sort of this weird comedy that they do, you know?
It's making fun of like the performative nature of male friendship, like, you know, the chest beating and the bravado, but even that seems heightened.
Oh, for
like,
sure.
Unrealistic. Anyway, Friendship is in theaters, probably someplace near you this weekend. Go check it out.